Spark, supports multi-language support, right? So supports multiple languages. So the API itself is written in Scala. So obviously Scala becomes the natural language of choice. Now the Scala language itself, which we're going to talk about more in today's session. So Scala itself is very much compatible with Java, right? So you can actually make calls to Java JDK within your Scala code, right? So Java is also a language which can use the Spark API, and you can create a Spark application using Java language as well, right? But then since the language is Java, again, if you're proficient in Java, it is good. Otherwise, you'll have to. Java by nature is lengthy, right, when compared to Scala, right? So, but even using Java, you can access Scala API, and the Spark API, and Spark also supports Python. Okay, so which means using Python language also you can access Spark API, and you can create applications in Python, right? So if you are coming in from the data science stream, right? So this is another popular way of using, right? So data scientists typically, if they want to see, Python itself is a general purpose programming language, okay, which has a good set of libraries for building mathematical models and all that, right? So statistical treatments and so on, right? So now, but however, Python, like Java, can only be used for creating Python applications. Can be is not distributed, right? So it can only run on one machine. So if supposing the data sets that you're using is large, or you require a better performance, so that's when you use basically and also they deal only with structured data, right? So if you're trying to process unstructured data, and if your data size is large, or if you're trying to build some streaming applications, so then you will need to use Spark API. So Python also, Spark also supports Python language for accessing the Spark API. Okay, now today there's one correction. Spark is also supporting R. So R is a statistical programming language. So even if you're familiar with R, so you can create, you can use the Spark API. So Spark is no more, although it is very new, it's been practically used in most of the, the new generation, or like web-based companies, right? So folks like NASA, Yahoo, Groupon, NTT, so many of them, right? So Uber. So Uber is also one of the big users of Spark now, right? So it's very much adopted in the industry. So the point is that Spark is an application framework. It is just an API. It is not having its own storage layer. The design of this API is in such a way that it provides an abstraction called as an RDD, resilient distributed data sets. So you can think of an RDD as simply like an like an array or a list where you can hold the data, right? So it converts data from any type of sources, diverse items like structured data, semi-structured data, or unstructured data, into one abstraction called as RDD, and then it allows you to process that RDDs in in its own calling its own API functions, or like if using Spark SQL, you can also use SQL or Hive kind of queries to process these data, right? And whether you're building a streaming application or a batch processing application, all of them, work with this same abstraction called as RDD, right? So this helps it being a unifying platform. And we also saw that it is built using Scala language.